this out and stuff like that.
Okay.
All right, you ready?
I'm ready to rock and roll.
Okay. Boom. All right. You're the most relaxed person I've done this with.
Oh, really?
So I
cool.
appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. We are here with another episode of Conversations with Rob. This is Molly Miller, for people that don't know. She owns a surf school here in Orlando, and she's going to tell us more about that. She also is a professional surfer, so she's going to talk more about that. But Molly, I really appreciate the time that you spent with us and really helping me out. So thanks so much, Molly.
Yeah, no problem. Happy to be here.
All right. So Molly, let's talk about growing up in Florida. When you grow up in Florida, you don't really technically think about surfing. You more so think about surfing in California, Hawaii. That's where they hold those big tournaments. Although we have some surfers that have been professional from here, such as yourself. Slater was also from this area.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about growing up. Why do we more so think about California, Hawaii compared to Florida?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Because they have better waves. But
Fair enough.
But I think that the reason that so many good surfers come from Florida, because you said Kelly Slater, he's
Right.
an 11-time world champion.
True.
He's beat everyone in the world 11 times. And then there's Lisa Anderson and a woman named Frida Zamba, and they are 4-time world champions, and they are from Florida also.
Oh.
And so Florida actually is a breeding ground for a lot of really good surfers. And I think it's because to be able to surf in Florida, you have to be able to surf bad waves, and anyone can surf good waves. Like
Right.
most people can surf good waves, but to be able to surf a really small wave, and you have to make the move at the right time really quickly, it's not easy. And then when you can do that, then you go to surf world-class waves, and you're ready to shine.
Well, I've only done boogie boarding, so that's not much of surfing, but
So we'll have to get you a lesson.
yeah, we have to get a lesson going on there. But to move on, so you are a world-class surfer. What got you into surfing?
Yeah. Okay, so when I was about 14, I was living in Jacksonville, which is in Northeast Florida, and I used to row crew.
Sure, yeah.
And
that's tough.
I was in 7th grade, and there was the end of the year party, and the girl lived on the beach, and she had a bunch of yellow old surfboards, and some boys were pushing the girls into waves, and I was lucky enough to get pushed into a wave, and it was the best experience of my life up to that point. I
Awesome,
rode it
yeah.
all the way in, and I was smiling the rest of the day, and from then I was pretty much sold.
Wow. Okay. So then that was kind of the main experience that pretty much started you hearing some.
Yeah.
Well, this is what happens with live TV, and you're right near the airport, so you're
Yeah.
gonna hear those airplanes go back and forth. But that's what's really caught you into surfing, though, just kind of that one incident.
Yeah, well,
more so.
there was two right next to each other, and then
Sure.
one of my best friends at the time, her father owned the local surf shop,
Okay.
and he took us out one day, and he was just pushing us into waves on longboards, and that also was just an epic experience for me. Riding a wave was unlike anything else I'd ever done, and I was just instantly like sold, and it became my everything.
Oh, wow. All right, so that's interesting. So throughout your early years, you kind of talked a little bit about that with surfing, but you went through many competitions. You won a lot of those competitions. And throughout those competitions, what was, well, I would say, the toughest competition that you faced?
Yes, okay. When I was on MTV Surf Girls, a reality show, there was a competition on that show in Samoa, and the waves were very big.
Right.
Double overhead, the biggest waves I had ever seen or been in, and I was frightened. I was like shaking out there, and you know, that was the most difficult competition for me because it took me a good hour sitting out there to even unfreeze,
Right.
and really just like get past that fear because it was crippling.
Right. Now I can definitely see that, especially I go to Daytona and I see some of the waves, and when it's rough out there, it's scary. And you always hear those stories in the news with the tide and people going out there and they're not really aware of how the waves are, and they go far out. You hit a big wave that they're not used to that, and they go under, and then you got to get that lifeguard out there to save them out. It's funny, but it's sad at the same time that people, you know, try to do things that they are not trained to do, and that's why we have your surf school to learn all these things.
That's right. Yeah.
we'll move into that. So what's the exciting competition? Like I said, you've been into many competitions. What's the most exciting that you participated in and won?
Okay, so it would be the same one that was the most difficult with the fear, but it's a second part of the story, and that is, you know, I recently just posted something on my social media that was about this, and I was just talking about how sometimes we all just need like a little push.
Right.
And for me, sometimes like all it takes is somebody out in the water, a friend, or even just an acquaintance that says like, yeah, Molly, go on this wave. And I remember that day I was so scared, like literally just show my board like this, and I was like, you have to surf, Molly. There's so many girls here that would do this.
Now, how old were you at this time?
18.
Okay.
There's so many girls that would do it, and you got chosen to be on this show. You have to go. Right. And I was so scared, and then this guy was like, yeah, Molly, go. This wave's for you. And I remember I was just like, he believes in me. and then I just went, and you know, after I caught that wave and dropped in for what felt like forever, you know, when I kicked out, I was crying. Tears were falling down my face, and happy tears. And I had never been so ecstatic. And I just went on to just catch wave after wave, and ended up winning. And that was by far the most exciting contest I've ever been in. Yeah. Right.
So something else that's we kind of talked about the toughest event that you were before this past question.
Yeah.
And something that kind of scares me, and you're kind of an ocean girl. You know the ocean well. As you hear about all these stories, especially even up in the Northeast. I'm from Rhode Island originally, and you hear up in the Northeast in Massachusetts now, they got shark bites out there. Sharks are going up there because the water's so warm, and they've never seen this many sharks in Massachusetts, Rhode Island, and we see that down here. What is the things that you've seen and surfed, you know, with in the ocean that kind of scares you? Sharks. You've probably surfed with dolphins, because we see a lot of dolphins down here also. But tell me, what are the things that kind of scares you in the ocean when you're out there? And as far as, you know, and other things that are out there, as far as sharks, dolphins, stingrays, Portuguese man of war out there too. So we got all kinds of variations of things out there. But what are the things that you faced in the ocean while surfing?
Yeah, that's a really good question. All right, well, first I'll tell you that dolphins and pelicans are the best surfers. They're always out. The pelicans ride the waves, just hovering right above them. They're the best surfers. And dolphins also are really fun to watch. And sometimes they'll be out there with me, with us, catching the same wave and doing flips and things. Feel no threat by them. It's funny because I actually have only seen a couple sharks in my, 20 years I've been surfing now. Wow. I don't really look for them. I know that they're there. I just don't look for them, so I don't see them. But I recently saw one actually just a few days ago giving a lesson. Wow. Yeah, and he was just hanging out, maybe about 5 foot spinner shark, I think it was, but so he was right next to us, and it was just a little bit, you know, it puts you on your edge a little just because of the whole stigma of sharks, but we ended up staying out there. We just relaxed, let them swim away, and then the girl felt really proud that she stayed out and didn't go in. So for her, it was like facing a fear. Yeah,
for the most part, they don't seem to really go after you. Right. It's just kind of maybe if you're in their way or something like that. But how do the kids deal with that? I mean, I know you say you haven't really faced any yourself, but you know, the kids, they start the lesson, they're kind of jumping into something new, but you know, they're worried about facing all these things, you know, whether it's big fish, stingrays, and sharks in general. How do the kids, you know, kind of adapt to these new surroundings that they're in?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I feel like it depends on the kid, right? I think that like a lot of the fear that kids have come from the parents. So if they come from parents who like have a lot of fear around the ocean, then the kid will have a lot of fear around the ocean. Where if they come from parents that are like, you know, ocean people. But when I deal with kids that have fear, in the beginning, it's there, it's real. But I think what happens is because like I genuinely am not scared. Right. Like you can't fake that. I mean, so
as
when
a teacher,
when the kids can feel it. Like if I was scared, but I was just trying to pretend like I wasn't scared, then I think the kid would. Yeah. But I'm actually not scared. I'm very comfortable in the ocean. Sure. So the kids start to feel that, and it just takes a little bit, like a few minutes, and then the kids catch a wave. Once they catch a wave, once they see that I'm in the, I make jokes like, well, you're on the board, I'm in the water, so I'm the one that's going to get taken out. I'll keep you safe. So, you know, they.
Right. So, go ahead.
Yeah, humor helps.
So, let's talk about, you've traveled all over the world. You talked about Samoa. I think you've been to Hawaii too, correct? And during doing this surf show, you've been all over the place. what was your favorite place where you had a competition, as far as traveling all over the world, or even in general, if you just traveled somewhere just to surf? What was your favorite place? California, Hawaii, Samoa, wherever it may be.
Yeah, that's hard to pick just one. I really like Southern California, except for the cold water. They have a lot of good waves that whole stretch. Samoa, because of my story, the contest that I was so scared of was there, and I really like Samoa because it was so different than anywhere else I've ever been. It was just the culture, and it was out of this world. It's so different. And you know, where I go now, which is Costa Rica, my husband and I have a house there. Yeah, we go there regularly.
Awesome,
and that's one of my favorite places because there's world-class waves almost every day.
Wow, I didn't even know that. So now you learn something every day.
Yeah.
So let's talk about this. And I've heard a lot about this on the news, and I just want to know if this has affected your business at all yet. We hear a lot about stories at beaches now, more so in the Gulf than where we are right now. But who knows what will happen down the road. Flesh-eating bacteria. Have you heard any of this so far, as customers saying, hey, we're scared to go out now? I know this because I don't really watch the news that much, but my family watches the news, and we're talking about going up to Clearwater and other places. They're like, I'm not going in the water because I hear this story.
Yes.
On the water. Have you heard anything yet?
So I don't watch the news much either. I try to stay far away from the local news. Yeah, it's fear mongers. No, I'm just kidding. But but no, I did have one client send me something a week ago about we didn't have a lesson scheduled. They were just like, hey, have you heard about this flesh-eating bacteria on the West Coast? But you know, there's no news that it's come up and around our side. So, and you know, there's all types of algae and stuff out there. But
well, you're a conservationist, and I should bring this up too, so we can talk about that as something like that. And this kind of digs into that. And you know, we are polluting all this water. We had the Gulf oil spill that was going back in 2010, where they had the oil was spilled. We have the algae all over that West Coast area. So, I mean, as you know, as me being a conservationist too, we need to think about those issues too, as far as, you know, this is stuff that, you know, you love as much as I do going toward the beach, and we have to be better stewards of the environment, you know, to keep that so we can go out and surf or just hang out in the ocean in general.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Right, I agree with you. I agree with you. So you did do some stuff for the USSF, all right? So that's kind of, is that the U.S. Surf Olympic team kind of ish?
Yeah.
I know you with the junior team.
Yeah, United States Surfing Federation National Championships. It's out in California and Oceanside every year. Right.
So you participated that, and you, as far as the junior teams, and you did win that national championship. Can you bring us back to that point in time in life, and how, you know, you felt, what the competition was like, kind of going and surfing against people from all over the country that, you know, you never know who's good and who's bad. I mean, but talk about that.
Sure will. Okay, so I didn't even start surfing until I was 15, almost 16, and then I got chosen to go on that show at 18. So I had only been surfing.
Quick learner,
I'd only been surfing for a couple of years, and so then after the show, I did get sponsored by Billabong, and I had just gotten a sponsorship, and it was this first big contest. And you know, my team manager was on the beach watching, and it was all this hype, you know, and I was so nervous. And I went out there though, and I remember, like, I watched Taj Burrow. He's one of my favorite men surfers, and I watched a video of him right before, and I just was like, I want to surf like him, and I was visualizing, and I had it playing in my head, and I surfed really well for me. I remember I came in and I was excited, and I was like, I think, you know, I was happy. And I remember this guy was like, he was like, it was close. I remember he just kind of put me in check. He was like, you didn't do that great. This other girl was right on your tail. And I remember it kind of brought me down to, like, I was like, okay, you know, maybe I didn't win. And but I did, and it was like such an epic day. Yeah, when it really matters and you really put your heart into something and it pays off, it's awesome.
So how do you prepare for a competition? Because, you know, you teach a lot of these young kids, and I'm sure that maybe they're doing it for fun. Maybe they do want to be like you, a professional surfer one day. Talk about, how did you prepare for these big competitions? Did you kind of do, I know you're big into yoga and meditation, and we'll touch on that a little bit. Did you do that before the competition? Did you kind of just listen to music, or
Yeah.
kind of? I know you said you watched your favorite surfer before the competition, or how did you kind of warm up or relax before
Yeah,
the competition? I saw the
Yeah, a little bit of-
the leaf came down.
A little bit of all of that.
Right.
Yeah, I like to listen to music right before on my headphones, and I definitely visualize, like close my eyes and just kind of visualize my success in the contest right before. And yeah, I like to watch a surf video beforehand and watch somebody who I think surfs really well,
Right.
and it gets me really pumped up. Yeah,
All right.
that's basically what I do.
So let's talk about that MTV show, the Surfer Girls that you were on. So you did get that contract, as you said, with Billabong. How did all this happen? How did you get picked for the show? Like you said, you only started surfing since you were, what, 14, 15 years old. That's a pretty quick turnaround to being 15 to 18 and getting on TV and, you know, getting the sponsorship, which, you know, is huge for somebody at that age. How did all this stuff happen?
Okay, so I was surfing the local circuit. It's called ESA, Eastern Surfing
Right.
Association, and the man who ran it called me into his office and said, "Hey, Molly, take a look at this." He pulled up an email and he said, "MTV and Roxy Quicksilver
Right.
are starting this reality show on MTV, and it's a chance to become a pro surfer and travel the world." And I was like, "Well, yeah, that's exactly
Right.
what I want." And so it said, "This is how you try out," and
So where did you try out?
so that's a great question.
Right.
It was 3 days. So the first day was in Satellite Beach in India Atlantic, and
Right.
it was at a surf shop. And they just brought a few girls and sat them at a table and just talked with them and was like, "You come back tomorrow. You come back tomorrow. You don't come back tomorrow," like that. So I mean, God only knows what they were
Wow.
looking for. And then
Okay.
the next day, and I remember in line, my brother took me, and in line he was looking at all these like beautiful girls and things like this, and he was like,
How many girls will you feel like were at that
"Oh,
tryout?
so I guess there was 2,000 total,
Wow.
not in Florida, but in Hawaii,
in general,
Florida,
yeah.
and I think North Carolina. Those were the three
Yeah,
places that they
still
did
a
it.
ton,
Yeah, and my brother like looked at me in line, and I remember he was like, "I don't know, Mol, like
Yeah.
you may not make it." Like I remember he's always
Right.
kind of been like, you know, just the
Yeah, joking
devil's
around,
advocate,
yeah,
but
yeah.
kind of like serious too. Like don't
Yeah.
get too excited. And so then the next day I went back, and
Tough love.
it's tough love. It is, and
Right.
my brother's got my back.
Okay.
And then the next day we went, and it was a one-on-one interview in a hotel. It was like being on a reality show, you know, when they
Yeah.
have the one person in the interview. So we
Yeah.
went into a hotel room, and it was like I sat here and they sat here, and there was this, they had all the sound system and the light, and it was like then they asked you all these questions, like personal, like emotional questions. And then they said, "We'll see you tomorrow." And some people, they said, "Don't come back tomorrow." And then the third day they had us surf.
Right.
And then after that, I waited and weeks and weeks. They said, "Oh, okay, you're down to the top 100, top 50."
Right.
And then, you know, then they said you made it.
So what was the aspect of the whole show? Obviously it was about surfing, but can you tell people that, you know, our younger viewers or people that didn't watch the show what Surf Girls was about?
Yeah, I can. So the premise was to take 14 girls and put them together in a house and take them to different world-class surf spots, Tahiti, Hawaii, Australia, Samoa,
Yeah.
and people were getting eliminated through competitions that we were doing.
Right.
And you were either in like the red, which is like you're close to getting kicked off, the yellow in the
Oh,
middle,
okay.
or the green, which means like you're safe based on your performance. So it was surf contest, but it was also things like swimming underwater to like buoys and unhooking balloons and like, you know, like athletics.
Yeah.
So it was a trip.
So how did the show end for you? I know you did well in that Samoa event.
Contest.
Yeah, contest. Thank you.
That was good.
But how did the show end? As far, and it wasn't really like, and I know you said it was a reality show, but you know, you watch some of these reality shows, whatever, Laguna Beach, The Bachelor and stuff, when they were all in the house together, Big Brother. Is it like really with the cameras around? Are people acting different? Or somebody coming up to you like with the camera like this?
Yeah, actually, that's funny you say that. The very first morning I was eating
You're like, whoa.
Yeah, I was eating cereal, and everybody was still in their rooms, and I was wondering why everybody was still in their rooms. Like, I just woke up, went and made myself a bowl of cereal, and I just remember, like, I looked over, and this guy was just, like, 2 inches from my face filming me, and that's when I realized it was real. I was like, oh, God, this is what it's gonna be. But after, like, a few weeks, you get
Right.
used to the cameras.
Yeah.
You start to, like, forget about them, honestly.
How was it with all these 14 girls that you had never met? you know, they all do share a love as you do with surfing. But how was it dealing as somebody that's 18? You were in college, or you weren't?
I
in
was
college
actually
yet?
a senior in high school.
All right, so you're living with 14 different girls, different personalities. Some may be nice, some may be cocky, some may be middle of the road. But you're dealing with all these girls, living with them. How was that? Like, from just living with your family to living with all these different people, different personalities.
Yeah, it was a trip. You know, not everybody liked me, and I didn't totally care for everybody. But like, I found a few girls that I really liked, and you know, we kind of like linked up, and it was great. There was definitely drama, but I'm not really big on the drama, so it was kind of easy to stay out of that.
Sure.
They did try to get you the interviews.
They want people to fight.
They definitely poke at you and try to get you going on this. Like, oh, I noticed that yesterday so-and-so was talking about you in the bathroom. You know, they try to get you going in the interviews, but I was kind of aware of that, so I tried to be really like careful about what I said.
Right, that's fair.
Still yet, they cut and spliced and made things...
Yeah, it's TV, reality, you know, in general.
Not totally reality.
But with that, knowing that, and how did the show finish? Did you, who won, or how did that work with the winning, or how did you finish?
Yeah, this girl named Jen got first, and I would say she was a better surfer, so I think it was fair that she won, and I got second.
Oh, wow, nice, awesome.
Yeah.
So do you still stay in touch with any of those girls, Molly, at all?
Yeah, I do. One of the girls, Robin, lives in Kauai now, and she's married and has a kid, and she's surfing good waves every day, so she's living the dream. I keep in touch with her. April was a girl that was on the show, and I still keep in touch with her. She lives out here in the Central Florida beaches and has a house in Hawaii. She's also married with a kid now, and yeah, there's a few others that I keep in touch with.
Well, that's cool.
So
that
I made
you kind of made lifelong friends. Yeah, that's awesome. So let's go on to a little bit, and then I want to get into your surfing school. Hopefully we don't have a storm coming in. I know it's coming in around 3. You did get your degree in elementary education and specialized in physical education, as being a person that is in gym too and physical education. Did you always love or want to be with kids and teach kids? I know you teach at your school now, surfing, but did you always have that passion and love for teaching kids?
Yes, I've always loved kids. You know, I've been babysitting since I was like a kid myself, and I just always have gravitated towards kid. I think because I am just a big kid.
Yeah, you always got to try to be, you know, happy and stuff. Otherwise, you'll be miserable.
I can relate to the kids. Yeah.
Well, that's great that you took on that as being a person in education. Also, myself. So let's talk about the school. So this school, your school's been operating. We talked before the interview for 3 years. Now, for 5 to 10 years down the road, what is your ultimate goal about building the school?
So I'm thinking my main goal is just to continue to connect people, like kids and adults. I mainly work with kids, but my adult population is actually growing. My goal is, because I do the meditation, I do the yoga, and I do the surfing, is more than just surfing. It's like I want to connect people to themselves and to each other, and then like to the planet, like we were talking about the conservation, because like people say like save the planet, but if you don't even love the planet, if you're not even like, God, this tree's so beautiful, or I love, then how would you want to save it? So it's kind of just, that's my main goal. And you know, like I want to purchase a van and a trailer so I can continue to build with them, commuting. But yeah, like I want to expand to Costa Rica. My husband and I have a house there, so do it in Costa, do it at the Central Florida beaches here, and then do some stuff here in Orlando, not the surfing part, but like build the meditation yoga part.
So what got you into and we know what got you into the surfing, but what got you into the meditation and yoga? Have you started that since a young age? Have you done that since a young age rather? Or is that kind of just came after yoga? And also after that question, how do you guys surf and then you do the kind of yoga meditation part after, kind of to relax and calm down and kind of get all that energy out?
It's a good, I might start doing that. That's actually a really good idea. I'm like, but no, normally we do it first, but maybe we'll do it after also. But yeah, usually I do like the yoga, get the body moving and the blood circulation, and then sit down and do the meditation, and we kind of add a visualization at the end to visualize surfing success. Then we get out there and rock and roll. But yeah. What was your first question? Gosh,
yeah, no, I know.
The meditation.
Right.
How did I get into meditation?
How did you get into meditation and yoga?
Yeah. So, gosh. So, you know, I don't know how I first found out about meditation, but, you know, we're exposed to all these things. And when I first heard about it at a younger age, right, 12, 13, 14, I started doing it on my own, like here and there, just sitting on the beach and trying to do things out of my comfort zone, like sit on the beach in front of people that could see me with my eyes closed and like not be embarrassed, little things like that. But I recently did a Vipassana meditation course, which is a 10-day silent meditation course, and it's a style of meditation called Vipassana. And I've done it 3 years in a row, and I plan to go back every year of my life. So that's really changed me.
Well, that's awesome. Yeah, I definitely need to start doing yoga. I've done body flow at my gym, but I want to start getting it because I'm from the Northeast, and I wish I was more relaxed, seemed like you are, and I'm always boom, go, 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 go. And sometimes, like you said, it's gonna end up killing you because you gotta kind of relax and take it down to another level and say, hey, you know, there's more to life than go, 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 go. But
no, I feel you.
Yeah, but anyways, so what is the age range of the kids that you teach? I know you say you do deal with a lot of adults, and that part of the business is starting to pick up. Do you get a lot of, you know, younger kids? And how much of the kids are like kind of just, it's something fun to do, to a lot of the kids that you teach that they want to do this. This is like their career goal, or this is what they want to do, you know, for quite a while.
Yeah, the number that just popped in my head is like 25%. I would say like 25% are like really like, I like this. I love this. I want to do this, Mom, every day. And then like the other 75%, they like it. Like surfing's fun. I mean, if I get you up on a wave and you're riding, you're gonna have fun. But they're kind of like, you know what I mean? Like it's fun. They come back, but you can tell they're not super driven. Like when I first caught a wave, you couldn't stop me. I think like, you know, I think that's a rare breed with any sport, don't you? I mean, I feel like a lot of people, maybe their parents push them or whatever the case may be, but so
well, yeah, I think I do agree with you there with some sports, you know, but then you do get some sports the parents push them too much and then they're hating or quitting the sport. But yeah, there's some kids, like you said, they just go in and they love it.
But mainly like 5 to 15 would be like the majority of the kids I work with are 5 to 15, and then like I definitely have outliers all the way up to like 60 years old.
Wow, that's great.
But most of the clients I have are, you know, that age.
Okay, so let's talk about and you know, for people that want to do this and stuff like that, what's the price for a lesson? What are the instructional levels? I read a little bit about that on the website, you know, beginner and, you know, more intermediate and higher.
Yes.
And where do the students learn for the beach? Is it more so like Daytona, this area, because that's closer to the area, or where would they learn? I know that was kind of a loaded question.
Yeah, I think I can remember everything though.
Well, the price for the lessons, the instructional lesson, and the where the students learn at the beach.
Yeah, so the prices vary. Like if you were gonna do,
Here we go with another plane.
Got a plane. I'll hold off.
Please. Bear with us. All right, they've left.
He's exited. Yeah. If you were gonna do like a 2-hour private lesson with just you and me, it would be $95. And then, you know, if we were gonna do like an hour and a half private, it's $75. And then if you
got pretty decent,
it's good prices. If we had 3 people together for an hour and a half, it's only $55 a person. So, and then I have camps where I take like big groups of kids, and that's $75 for the day, 9:30 to 2:30.
Now, you talking about obviously Florida? It's summer all year round for the most part. Is the camps more in the summer because that's where more kids are out of school? Yeah.
Yeah, but then also do like Thanksgiving break or spring break.
Okay. Okay, fair enough. Now, what are the instructional levels?
Yeah, so there's like beginner and intermediate and advanced, like you said. And beginner is basically just teaching them how to lay on the board. You'd be surprised, laying on the surfboard alone is hard. Just balancing on the board.
I have trouble on the boogie board, like I said, so, I can agree.
You know. And then just like learning how to paddle properly, you know, the anatomy of the surfboard, safety, etiquette. Like when I'm getting people out there in the water, I don't want them to be a hazard or a burden to other people who know what they're doing out there. So I try to teach etiquette right off the bat, and you know, just basics paddling. Learning how to stand up on the board is the hardest part, and then stay on the board and ride it. And then like as you get into intermediate, it's like catching your own waves, which is harder than you might think. The timing and having the power to actually because I do in the beginning. I help a lot getting them into the waves. So.
Right. No, that's fair. Yeah.
And then, like, as you progress, you start learning how to catch waves that haven't broken yet. So in the beginning, you're catching white water, which is a wave that's already broken and just pushes you.
Right.
But as you get progress as a surfer, you want to catch the wave before it breaks, and that's called, riding like the open face of the wave. And then you're no longer going straight, you're turning and riding sideways down the line, they call it.
All right, so all different terminology
Yes.
that most of you guys probably don't know, but hey, it's always good to learn,
Yeah.
and this interests me, and that's why I found Molly for this. And the last question is, I know you said Florida, some of the waves are a lot tougher than, to find and, surf than, other places in America. Where do you take the kids out to surf?
Yeah, usually I take them to Cape Canaveral,
Okay.
Because right near it's right off the 528, and then I live right off the 528. It's really like the shortest distance, and it's a nice little park there that has showers and bathrooms. And
So it's quick and easy.
yeah.
to
But
do
like
everything.
depending on the client, some people have beach houses out there. Some people would prefer to go to this beach. So I'm mobile. So usually it's anywhere from like New Smyrna to Cocoa Beach.
Okay. What is the best beach in Florida to surf that you've been to? It doesn't have to be in this area, but in general. And actually, if you could tell us in this area and then in general that you've surfed.
Okay, in this area, I like to surf Satellite Beach, like RC's area, they call it, and Ponce Inlet is fun, and then Plylinda is fun. But then as far as anywhere, I'm from North Florida, so I'm kind of biased, and I really like it's called the Poles and the Jacksonville Beach Pier.
Jacksonville. Okay, fair enough. All right, so let's talk about what students, what do they learn the most? I mean, obviously they learn the most surfing as far as you teach them, but do they learn you see a lot of kids that you teach them more, so I guess this is the question. As confidence levels kind of going up, where kids get in the water and they're real shaky at the beginning, and they're like, I don't want to do this, or maybe you have somebody that's a little younger, they cry or something. And do you feel like at the end, when you're done with a lot of these kids, you really build up their confidence level, or what do you feel like you teach them the most, I guess, besides surfing?
Yeah. Definitely the confidence. Almost every single time when they're done, they're smiling and they did it and they're happy. They're not scared at the end.
Right.
So that's a beautiful thing in and of itself, like facing a fear.
Right.
If they start with a fear. Yes.
Motivation, maybe?
Yeah, definitely motivation. But like I think that one thing that the ocean just teaches, well, what they're getting is like they're getting like saltwater therapy. You see like all these things popping up in Orlando, like the salt room.
Right,
Like,
yes.
and then like the floating room, what's it called? Like float, where people
Right,
go and they float. All these things that you do at the beach naturally.
That
Like you
people
get salt water at the beach, you float in the ocean. So it's like it does all these things for kids and adults. It's so therapeutic, like being out in the sun and you're getting exercise and. But yeah, definitely I would say that they get confidence and they get one-on-one from someone who's just like really present with them and listening.
So anything else, and this is we're kind of going through, and then I have a couple of fun questions, one-word, two-word answer questions that we're going to get to. But anything that you would want the students to know, or people to know actually that are listening to the podcast? I know your office is in Orlando on, is it East Jackson Street? Mm-hmm. All right, so definitely if you want to give out the phone number, the website, some information just for our viewers, because I mean this sounds like even a fun thing, even if you only want to do it a couple of times, something to do with your girlfriend, your boyfriend, even by yourself.
Bucket list.
Yes, something to do that's fun, something to learn.
Face a fear, get out of your comfort zone.
Agreed. So anything you want to tell? Yeah,
so my phone number is 407-747-5808, and you can find me on Instagram and Facebook at Molly Miller Surf School. And my website is mollymillersurfschool.com, and it's spelled M-O-L-L-I. Yeah, and it's a great way to just try something new, and you never know, you might fall in love with it.
Right. No, I totally agree, and it's something that as a beach guy myself, I definitely would even think about doing for myself, and just something to learn. You know what I mean? It's something fun to do, as you said, get out of your comfort zone and try something new. Get off the boogie board for me, and get on the the big boy board.
You got a lesson coming up.
Yeah, I got to get on the big boy board. So anyway, so let's learn a little bit more, use some fun questions about Molly. Molly, what's your favorite color?
Green.
Green? Okay, like you're wearing. All right, it's very ironic. We didn't plan that out for the people that's watching. What's your favorite food?
Salad.
All right, what do people not know about you that's a fun fact?
Ooh, God, that's a tough one.
We'll let you think about that.
Yeah, let me come back to that
We'll
one.
come back to that. All right, what's your favorite food?
My favorite food, salad.
Salad?
And
Okay.
like sweets, anything sugar.
Okay.
And I guess a fun fact would be that I'm like extremely silly. Like I'm extremely weird. Like when you get to know me.
Most relaxed interview I've done to date yet. We've done about 40 of these with all sorts of different people, from service dogs to politicians
Oh, wow.
to sports people. And this is the most relaxed one we've had yet, with no tension. Anyway, we'll move on. What's your favorite type of music to listen to?
Gosh, it's so hard for me to pick one kind of music. I like all kinds of music.
Yeah.
But I like positive music, like positive vibrations, right? Like I don't like
Okay.
listening to like negative kind of
Yeah, more, yeah.
like hate music. I don't know.
Right, no vulgar stuff.
I don't listen to
right?
any vulgar music. No.
Fair enough. Favorite workout?
Yeah, that I can be specific about.
Sure thing.
Yoga,
Okay.
and then I like to run my dogs. I have two dogs.
What kind of dog?
Fur babies. I have a Catahoula,
Okay.
and then I have a Bitmore.
Okay, well, good two golden retriever labs.
Oh, you
next,
do?
Yeah. So they're big horses, so
Oh, nice.
I love them. But
So I
and
run them.
yeah, that's fun. So, and the last question is your favorite beach, and you probably just already said that about in Jacksonville, or
Yeah.
maybe that's not.
But my favorite worldwide beach
Sure.
would be like Playa Hermosa in Costa Rica.
All right. And that was it for our interview today. Definitely subscribe for more interviews like Molly, and definitely check out her website. Molly, if you could just give out the website and the phone number one more time, we definitely think, and I mean, you've seen Molly for almost 35 minutes right now. She's really energetic. She's funny. She's smiling all the time, and she can teach you something new. And I think that's, like I said, jump out of your comfort zone. It's something fun to do. Everybody loves the beach, and people should try to jump more out of their comfort zones in general in anything that they do. But Molly, just give out the phone number and the website again, please.
Yeah, so my website is mollymillersurfschool.com, and it's MOLLI. And then my phone number is 407-747-5808.
All right, again, definitely go on the website and the phone, call her up if you need any more information. This is Rob signing off, and I definitely recommend Molly highly. Appreciate you guys. Thanks, Molly,
Yeah,
again.
no problem. Thanks
All
for
right.
having me.